In 1909, the White Star Line was in a fast-moving battle for steamship primacy in England. They decided to build a line of luxury British steamships, one of which would become legendary. The construction of the Titanic lasted from 1909 to 1911 and was ready to sail in 1912. At the time, the Titanic's hull was the world's largest movable man-made object. The ship was 883 feet long and weighed 46,328 tons, or 92,656,000 pounds. The massive ship had 9 decks, a gym, a swimming pool, 2 barbershops, 2 libraries, 2 cafes, 4 elevators, and a Turkish bath. The Titanic's capacity was 3,547 people. On April 10, 1912, the massive ship and its 2,240 passengers and crew were ready for its maiden voyage. This voyage was to sail across the northern Atlantic from Southampton, England, to New York. Passengers ranged from first class to third class, and some very notable passengers included John Jacob Astor, Isidore and Ida Strauss, the owners of Macy's, and the unsinkable Molly Brown. The Titanic left the Southampton port with 75,000 pounds of fresh meat, 1,750 pounds of ice cream, 800 pounds of tea, 40 tons of potatoes, 10,000 pounds of sugar, 1,500 gallons of milk, and 7,500 blankets. Unfortunately, some believe that the Titanic's voyage was doomed from the start. The construction of the Titanic provided 2 major flaws. 1. The walls separating the bulkheads of the ship were only a few feet above water level, which meant that water could get into the compartments. The second, the Titanic only had a total of 20 lifeboats, 16 wooden and 4 collapsible, which was not nearly enough to accommodate a 3,547 person capacity. The day of the maiden voyage also resulted in 2 bad omens. 1. There was a coal fire burning in the boiler room of the ship as they left the port. And 2. The Titanic nearly collided with the SS New York while leaving the Southampton port. But nonetheless, the Titanic sailed. On the night of April 14, 1912, the Titanic received messages from other ships of ice in the area around Newfoundland and had to brake hard and turn to avoid an iceberg. They seemingly avoided it, but unbeknownst to those on board, the iceberg had cut a 300-foot gash in the hull, and before anyone knew it, the Titanic was sinking in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. The lifeboats were deployed as quickly as possible, but many were launched less than half full. As the Titanic sunk, the weight of the front half under the water pulled the ship straight up into the air, then broke in 2. The back half sunk under very shortly after the front half. The Titanic hit the iceberg at 11:30 p.m., and by 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912, it was completely submerged. Those who were lucky enough to make it into lifeboats were collected by a sister ship called the Carpathia. The Carpathia only collected 705 of the 2,240 passengers and crew. The Titanic now lies at the bottom of the sea, a legend. Still one of the most exquisite ships that the world has ever seen.